team, and the reply would come back handled. Celebrity could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. So the Biden White House and both political parties
answered the story. So it says, per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violating our hacked materials policy, adding them here for further insights and guidance. Now, it gets that point home. It says, quote, to Ian's point, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy? As part of our approach to addressing potentially hacked materials, we are limiting visibility of related stories on Twitter while our investigation is ongoing. But
report from the DNC. So the DNC was telling Twitter what to pull off the site, and Twitter was complying. Next morning, to prove it, a Twitter official confirmed the post had been deleted. I grabbed the first one, that Twitter employee wrote. Twitter Biden campaign in the final days of the presidential campaign. One of the documents proves that officials on the Biden team routinely directed Twitter to remove posts that reflected poorly on Joe Biden. Quote, more to review from the Biden team, read one internal email from a Twitter employee just days before the 2020 election. That email without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal policy and trust Vijaya Gadde playing a key role. King was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone at Twitter realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. One communications official at Twitter, Trenton Kennedy, wrote this, quote, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this, the laptop story, as unsafe. Twitter's former head of trust and safety is hacked material, though, as discussed, this is an emerging situation where the facts remain unclear. Given the severe risks here, and the lessons of 2016, meaning Trump could get elected, we're erring on the side of including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified. Truthfully claim this is part of the policy. In other words, is this consistent with the rules? It seems to be a violation of the First Amendment principles. And I say this as a total Biden partisan. But he was completely blown off. Twitter, a list of Twitter accounts to, quote, review. And Twitter knew exactly what to do next. Twitter removed those tweets permanently. All of this, by the way, was signed off on Jim Baker, who had been a high-level FBI official who somehow wound up as the general counsel of Twitter. So according to Taibbi, and this is kind of interesting if you've been following the history of Twitter as a company, these decisions, this censorship was very often made without the knowledge of the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, who, for whatever it's worth, may have a nose ring and do yoga, but is actually fairly committed to the First Amendment and didn't want to see any of this, so he was just kept out of the loop. It was Vijaya Gadde, who was the head censor at Twitter. He was never a real justification for banning the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop, and they knew it. Under Twitter's own stated rules, they would need, quote, official law enforcement finding of a hack to invoke that policy, says Taibbi. This is just one part of the Twitter file.
President Biden, all of your Stasi little operatives in the DNC who have targeted American citizens, have you, Mr. President, have all of you at last no shame?